I'm not celiac like other people in my family. Take that, gluten. You can't do nothing to me. Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast. I am Spencer Cardia.
I'm the Fruit Stripes zebra.
Oh, Fruit Stripes, the greatest gum for 3 seconds. And this here is Frank looking a little nerdy.
I disagree. I
you?
think that is very cool guy right there.
Cool guy?
Yeah, confident in a relaxed way, not a braggy way.
Something about the hat, I think, maybe.
No, it's like a pork pie hat, and I like it.
Hey, you know what? Different strokes for different folks. Maybe I'm being a little too judgmental, young Frank.
You are.
Especially to someone who can't defend themselves.
He can. You don't know what he's doing with his mind? Like, you're just judging on...
Mightier is the pen than the sword, or
Yeah.
something like that.
He could...
But he can't use a pen.
Stephen Hawking was able to write a lot of really important stuff without hands.
That's true. He was a very strong-minded individual. Also an atheist. What is up, guys? And that's okay. How's it going? I don't mean to start the podcast off on a negative note, especially on such a fun day.
No.
It's a Wednesday.
And it's another day of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
Oh,
Speaking of atheists.
Oh, man.
She was a Catholic.
What happened?
And she said, it was odd. It said when her friend died in a car accident, that's when she turned to atheism. And I don't understand that because obviously it's more complex. I don't know her or her reasons.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
People, especially if you're not too strong in your faith already, if you're a passive Catholic, let's say.
Okay.
Not saying, not assuming however spiritual she was. When something like that happens, like sometimes we feel like we're on a path and everything's being set before us. And then you see something so tragic happen to such a good person.
Yeah.
And you're like, nothing in this world has order. We live in a state of chaos. And why would such a bad thing happen to such a good person?
Right.
There must not be a higher power watching over. Obviously, you and I would disagree with that, but that is a thought a lot of people have.
Yeah.
I did believe in God until this happened or this happened. And then I said, how could there be a God and this still happen?
So what I blame that on is I blame that on the initial education that one receives about God. Mm-hmm. Because that would lead me to believe that the people who lose their faith when a bad thing happens, they were under the false information that with God, only good things happen.
Yes.
And I'm just confused about that perception because where were you living in the world that everything was going good for everyone up to that point?
Yeah.
Like, didn't you not see that? So it's interesting, right? Because if you started out as an atheist, okay, I can see,
yeah.
Right? But if you had a belief and then you said, I'm throwing this out because this happened. How interesting that you didn't think that would happen.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I think it's that's why we emphasize strengthening your faith, because a wavering faith is easily wavered, but stronger faith, you would say, look at Jesus. He was God on earth and he was crucified.
Right.
And do we say how could that have happened? No, we understand the story. We understand what it meant. We understand what Earth is, right? Like that helped us understand what Earth is,
right?
Which is a world of free choice and things going awry. And you can look at any story. You can look at Job of like terrible things can happen, and it's what faith should be seen as is the strength to get you through tough situations and not an excuse on why it doesn't make sense because bad things happened.
Right.
Like someone with a strong faith would see that and say, that's tragic, but they're in a better place. I'm going to lean on God and not my own understanding, and use it rather than lose it.
Right.
Use it. Don't lose it.
Yeah. It's just a different way to look at things. There's an old saying that there's no atheists in foxholes, meaning I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. And now you're enemy fire and you're about to die. You start praying, but this debunks that. It's saying No, when the very worst thing happens, that's when you give up.
But I do find that and that's true. It happens both ways. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing is sometimes it makes you stronger in faith. Sometimes it makes you lose faith. But I think that's what's so important about the initial strengthening of your faith. It's like going to the gym or training for a boxing match. We've used some of these analogies before. It's if you never train, like we practice our faith day in and day out so that when something happens,
right,
that muscle memory, just like in a fight, if you're boxing, you are not going to remember all the technicalities in the fight. There's adrenaline. There's, oh no, he could be better than you. You fall back on your training, your muscle memory, and all that. And there's spiritual muscle memory that when your faith is wavered, just like it was wavered with a lot of people in the Bible, doubting Thomas and on all these reoccurring stories where nobody's going to live a life where their faith is not wavered. I think that's a not the right way to look at it. The idea is strengthen your faith when you are not being wavered, so that when the trials and tribulations come to your door, you have those defenses. You have that spiritual armor, that armor of God on, that you're like, I can handle this.
Yes.
I can understand this. But we just jumped right into it today.
We did.
I wanted to talk about, it's April 26th.
Yes. Happy birthday, Shakespeare.
Happy birthday, Shakespeare. To be or not to be?
I could be wrong about that.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know when his birthday.
You know what?
It might be the 23rd. I don't know.
It's also not even the 26th. It's the 27th.
See, so maybe somewhere, something.
And you know why that gets me mad? Because I thought it was the 26th all day.
Oh, okay.
And I looked up a holiday that was yesterday, but that's okay because I'm still going to talk about it because it was, not is. I don't know what holidays are today. Here, I'll put up one of the holidays that are today. Can we talk about it? No, because that's what we call post-editing.
Okay.
Yesterday was National Pretzel Day.
Oh, pretzels.
Now, do you know the history of pretzels?
They're full of gluten,
They're
which I can't have, and you can because you just got tested.
Oh, yeah. I'm not celiac like other people in my family. Take that, gluten. You can't do nothing to me. National Pretzel Day, you can't have it because it has gluten in it.
Yes.
The people who can have it were the old school Orthodox Catholics who practice Lent because it doesn't have wheat. It doesn't have eggs, sugar, or something else.
Okay.
It was invented by Catholic monks in the 7th century. I believe Germany. I could be wrong.
Okay.
And if you wonder why pretzels have that distinct knot shape,
yes,
it's because it was made to look like arms being crossed in prayer, which was an original way to pray.
Oh.
Which is with the arms being crossed.
Okay.
So the monks would give them out to the school children as a little prayer bread.
Oh, I like that.
That would be used in Lent. And it's like, you can eat it because it doesn't have the foods that you need to avoid while fasting for Lent. And and then obviously more connections. It's a Philadelphian staple. We're talking about because these are soft pretzels that we're talking about.
Okay. Well, hard pretzels are shaped that way too.
Yeah, some of them. There's also like pretzel rods.
Yeah.
But Philadelphian staple is a soft pretzel. So
don't remind me. I loved pretzels.
Yeah, can't have them anymore.
I can't. Well, the other day I was in the Happy Mixer gluten-free bakery, which is a local. They have 2 locations in our area, and they had a big sign, and it said, "Order." You couldn't. Didn't just have them. Order gluten-free pretzels. I did not order them, and also I don't have much hope. A lot of gluten-free stuff is not the same.
I hear you. But yeah, pretzels. Who knew? They're a Catholic tradition, Philadelphia tradition.
Yeah,
our tradition. We should have got. Nothing was better than back in school when they would just bring in boxes of the Philly pretzels.
They were like flat.
Yeah, and they're all just like
crate things.
Yeah,
I was the pretzel counter.
Oh,
yeah, 3rd grade. I would have to go out into the hallway, and before recess, I don't know, the pretzels would come in. What were they, a quarter? The pretzels would come in, and they came in the big. It's one piece. These were the long pretzels.
Okay,
not the round. You know that.
Yeah,
and
the rectangular ones.
I had to break them all. I guess because...
Did you wear gloves? Or back then?
You know what? I didn't.
Yeah, back then.
They trusted me that I washed my hands.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of germy kids in the 70s.
Anyway, so yeah, I was the pretzel person, and I can still smell the fresh, delicious smell of just delivered pretzels. But yeah, we had to pay for them, actually. Should have given them to us free.
Yeah. It teaches you about capitalism.
It teaches you to ask your parents for money. And then, now that I think about it, I was unaware at that age of other children, but I'm guessing there were children there who wanted it and couldn't have it because they didn't have the money.
Yeah. That's sad.
Interesting. I just thought of this because when you're in school, especially at, Catholic school, if you ever have something and they say, if you don't have enough for the whole class, put that away. And yet they let us buy pretzels and eat them in front of the poor kids. Come on.
That's messed up.
That is messed up.
Something like a pretzel? You think the monks back in the 7th century were paying
bread.
the kids?
Give us a piece of daily bread.
Daily bread.
We pay tuition.
Hey.
Hey.
Give us this day our daily bread. It's not give us a quarter for our daily bread.
Oh my God. All the little kids, we should got posters.
Yeah, you should want a strike.
Strike and marched in the schoolyard. Give us this day our daily bread. How that would have been so great.
Yeah. If only we had a time machine.
They went out of business anyway, so.
Who?
Catholic schools.
No, they didn't.
Basically.
What?
Most.
Yeah.
How many abandoned Catholic schools have you seen on your drives?
There's a lot. Yeah, it's hard.
Squatters' rights. We should take one over. Just make it the Croak and Crow.
School?
Not school, because then we'd have to deal with teaching people things, but center.
Yeah.
Center for free pretzels.
Yeah, that'll be our one shtick. It's like, if you want pretzels, we won't charge.
All the childhood trauma that you didn't get a pretzel, you come here, we'll fix that for you.
We'll fix that right up for you. But so it's April 27th. That's a great day too.
Almost the end. April's a short month.
30 days has September, April, June. Yeah,
the first short month.
Yeah, almost over, which means it's almost May. Which I mean, don't get too excited. But my birthday's coming up.
I know.
I will be
older than you were last year.
Older than I was last year. How old do you think I am? Put it down the... Actually, don't. It might hurt my feelings.
It would never hurt your feelings because numbers don't mean anything.
Oh, well, they do. In mathematics. Do you know there's imaginary numbers in math?
Math schematics. Do you know that's where the word mathematics came from? Math schematics.
What do...
I made that up, so don't tell people because you'll sound dumb.
You make it really hard.
I know.
English, they call it maths.
I know. There's
Why?
English.
They just...
Stop it.
I mean, I know you kind of had the language first.
Well,
but...
maybe mathematics. They just took out the amatic.
So maybe they're correct.
Maybe. They usually are.
Yeah, that's the thing about it is we took their language and then everything we changed was changed.
Right. Wanted to say hi to Ghost Fades, a big fan of ours.
Ghost Fades, how's it going?
He will be on, has to be on here one day.
Yeah.
Move him out and bring him in.
Yeah.
And prayers for and good energy and everything for Alex Robillard, who I believe today, tomorrow,
every day
is going to be presenting his doctorate.
Oh, his doctoral thesis.
Thank you. I didn't know the name. I was going to say his whole hoopla to people about very important wildlife preservation of sea creatures. Are they just in the sea, or are they turtles? And
I don't know.
Again,
I guess I'd have to go to the
presentation. I think it's open to the public. I do not think that he wants us there ogling him, but I do think those kind of things, aren't they? Like you have to like post it and then people.
Yeah, it's a published work.
Yeah.
Yeah, the doctoral theses are all published works.
Go in disguise. My friend Sierra, she always wants to be in disguise in 2022 as a newsie. And I always tell her.
As a what?
A newsie.
Like a newsie body?
No, like the little kids with the...
Like a newsboy? Newspaper boy?
Yeah, paper, like the hat and the... I'm kind of in the color scheme of a newsie, but...
Extra?
Yes.
Read all about
Extra, yeah. Every time she says something, she's like, we can go in disguise. And she's like, yeah, I'll be a newsie. And I'm always
That's like you'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Exactly.
You should be trying
You should be in a green screen onesie.
No,
so if they video you, you don't come up.
They would have to take... You think just green screens just don't show up on camera?
It's invisible,
Like it's a vampire or something?
Yeah, we could go in disguise.
We could.
And we also want to congratulate you went to a very important event.
Yes, speaking of the Catholic Church, my great aunt, Sister Marie McDonald, had a jubilee. We had a jubilee podcast.
Very jubilant.
And it was her and other nuns being celebrated for their years of servitude to the Catholic Church. The years were 60 years of servitude.
They were the young ones.
70 years.
That's amazing.
Servitude.
That's amazing.
And there was 75 years of servitude. Now think of that. You have to be an adult to join the convent.
Yeah.
So 75 years of working.
Right.
Which means, if my math is correct, the very least 93.
Yes.
That's a lot of. The priest was
so
talking,
inspiring.
And he was saying it was a combined year, like the combined years of all the nuns, where it was like 853 years of.
I have chills.
Yeah, that's a lot of years.
That's amazing.
Of helping the communities and spreading Christianity.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful, and a lot of people never met a nun.
Yeah,
did you know that
they met nuns? None nuns. I've seen nuns.
Okay, a lot of people have never met nuns. Don't know nuns. I know nuns. First of all, in my family, I have nuns in my family, so it's super close connection. Go to the beach with the nun who's in shorts and a shirt. You're like but besides also being in Catholic school for 10 years, and then my children.
Yeah.
So for the people who've never met a nun, they're really nice people.
Really nice people.
There's a lot of jokes in Halloween costumes, but they are just these women who did dedicate themselves to God, and they're not hermits who sit and pray, which is nothing wrong with that. But they're teachers. They work in hospitals. They do so much service and
learn languages. And
yeah,
education and charity work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's inspiring.
It is.
And yeah, they're normal people.
They're
more
normal
than that.
People.
I think sometimes we put people on in groups and it's like, oh, that's a nun, and it's like, it's just a woman.
It's just a woman.
It's just a woman.
That's her vocation. That she chose, and it's dwindling.
Well, it's hard. I mean, the requirements or the sacrifices in the 21st century are a lot more steep than they were.
You know what? You mean to say that a girl doesn't want to sacrifice leaving the secular world for a cloistered or convented world? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. But
I also want to tell you this, that they offered more in the old days.
Oh.
In the old days, you were assured of your health care and your housing and your food and your just all of the support. But because of course, the Catholic schools have not gone out of business completely, like I just kind of snarkily said, but there is much less money than there was before. So you're asking people to give up less for kind of less than they used to get. So
it's a big ask.
It is a very big ask.
Your life.
Yeah.
But guys, you know what day it is. It's Wednesday, the best day of the early week. And on Wednesday, we do a little something here called...
And happy birthday, Hannah.
Happy birthday, Hannah Fox.
You said I couldn't say it on Friday, and we would say it today. And
I almost got away with not saying it. Happy birthday, Hannah Fox. You old son of a gun. Couldn't imagine being that old.
I know. Maybe you know what it's like in a week.
2 weeks, okay? 2 weeks. Let me enjoy my time of being young. But, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's Wednesday, which means it is One Word Wednesday, folks.
Yes.
On One Word Wednesday, we pick a word, any word. Come one, come all, extra, extra, read one word. And we talk about it. We just, chit-chat about, what does the word mean? Just how we were just talking about pretzels.
Right.
And what we talked about? We talked about the Philadelphian thing. We said the spiritual significance of it.
Yes.
That's what we do on One Word Wednesday. So without further ado, what is our word?
Noise.
Noise complaints.
Noisy. Noise.
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 Okay. Noise. Talking about noise.
Noise.
Okay. Why?
Well,
Porque
when I say a word, then for people to go, if they feel so inclined and also don't know where to start with the Bible, you can go Bible Gateway.
BibleGateway.com. We are sponsored by them. They just don't know it yet.
Yes. BibleGateway.com. Type in noise or noisy, and it'll give you pop. Bible verses that say the word. Just one Bible verse. Just like when we do our poll, we're putting up one Bible verse, and it's easy, digestible, and so anyway, noise is in the Bible. Noisy is the variations of, and noise is just something we can think about, and there is good noise and bad noise
and white noise.
Absence. Well, that absence, right? It's
white noise isn't absence.
It's not absence. It's like, what is white noise? Tell us.
Definitionally?
Yeah.
I don't know. Static, like a. I don't know.
White noise gives you noise without having your brain have to process anything. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like.
And there's really no connection. So like, music bothers me. I love music, and I also am extremely bothered by certain musics. And because I have so many associations. So like, to someone else, what is just like a jazz song or something, like for some reason it might hit me wrong.
Oh.
So it's not even a genre.
So you hate jazz?
No, it's not even a genre. It could be anything. So when someone just is like, wants to play their list, or they get the aux chord, sometimes I get very bothered, but not because I hate music.
Just a little bit of a Scrooge.
No. Because sometimes I love some of their music.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right? So anyway, you're hearing something, but because you're getting associations, or you can't. So I think for sleeping, you use white noise, right?
Yeah.
Because it's, I don't know what the psychological is.
Well, the psychological, I mean, let's just talk about spirituality in a bit. You see Buddhist monks, and they do their chants. Om.
Yes.
You've heard that all before. Om.
Yes.
Om. The point of that is to get into their meditative state, similarly to, a prayer state or a state of peace. And if you are completely quiet, your mind, it might be very quiet in the room. Your mind's noisy.
True.
And you're talking. If you focus on something that is nothing,
right?
Just Om, Om. You are clearing your mind. You're filling your mind with. You're filling the space, the empty mind of with something that is nothing.
Right.
So in doing that, you are clearing your mind. Same thing with white noise. It's not letting your mind wander.
Right.
So I guess, with the time we have, we can talk about noise.
Like they say what you were just saying just triggered me to think, drowning out
a
different noise. And it's funny because drowning has nothing to do with sound, but you use it and it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drown you out by playing my earbud. Yeah. Go ahead.
So we're talking about Christianity around here, and is noise, when we're in states of prayer and stuff, should we try to find a quiet place? Is that not a good topic?
I was trying to make silence.
It's also called awkward silence, an absence of noise.
Should you try to find a quiet place?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know, like you just said, there's lots of spiritual meditations that involve noise.
Yeah, like singing, songs.
Yes. But you could even just, if you watch our polls on Instagram, a lot of times you hear all the birds.
Yeah.
In your just nature, noise. I don't know. Choice, maybe?
Some nuns, a certain type of nuns, they give a vow of silence.
True.
Speaking of nuns.
True.
But
they still can hear noise.
But they don't provide any noise.
They don't create any, no.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I forgot the first part of the thing. An important thing of noise is the Battle of Jericho.
Oh.
Joshua fought the Battle of Jericho. So if people want to look that up, it's Joshua 6, verses 1 to 27. Talks about, remember they marched around the walls making noise until they crumbled because of the vibrations, because noise.
Good vibes.
Good to them, bad to the people inside, I guess. That's an important noisy complaint. I don't know, because it's so hard. It's so personal, right? Because what is noise to me? What is music to you is noise to me. And I'm saying that in a bad context, or?
Well, here's what I'm going to say about it.
Okay.
What is noise? It's the perception that your ears have. And we talk about senses, earthly senses on this podcast all the time, because who knows how many senses we have up in heaven, but on earth we have 5 senses, and they help us perceive the earthly world, and we try to use them in combination of each other to understand deeper thoughts and deeper meanings. And so it goes both ways. It's a very just general statement of noise.
Right.
But anytime I feel like we're talking about our senses and it's saying, well, should I use my senses for this? Should I use my senses for that? Like, should
I involve that in this? Yeah.
And I think all of the senses can be used for good, and they can also be used as earthly distractions. And so, sometimes with noise, it's distracting us from focusing.
Right.
And sometimes it's helping us focus.
Right.
And it's about balancing that and doing what you can. Sometimes, you might be feeling very earthly and you use music if you're into gospel music and stuff, and that brings you connected. Same thing with incense for your smell.
Right.
And for,
we talked about Johnny Depp's trial earlier.
Yeah.
And one of the testimonies was that he wears an earpiece when he's being an actor in different roles.
Yeah.
And it could be for lines, but what the one technician said was he plays music to put him in the mindset of that character.
Oh, really?
So the music changes. So when he's acting, we're not hearing the music.
Yeah.
And he's saying his regular lines, but he has a little soundtrack going in his ear.
Yeah. And so I think all we can do on earth is use our senses, and the idea is to harness earthly senses to perceive something more, which is a hard concept when you think about it, but when you look at it in practice, it makes sense. Like the om of, what is that? It's using your earthly senses of your voice and your hearing, and then noise canceling to allow you to focus more. And is there anything wrong with listening to the rap music, listening to the AC/DC, might I add? No, but that's like, we can perceive a wide array of things,
right?
And it's valuable and stuff. And then
even deaf people.
Yeah.
You might think that deaf people aren't part of this conversation because they can't hear noise, or
us.
But no, we have captions.
Ah.
But noise, push CC, and it unfortunately, but like it's not like me and you. It just runs.
Yeah.
But still, anyway. To think more about the definition of noise, for a deaf person, number one, they can hear vibrations, so they can hear. And also
good vibration.
when you so you're talking about the interruption or the focus, like when I think they clap, sign language is clapping like this, or if you get someone's attention, or if, you're creating noise with your hands, even though it's not sound, it's just like,
well, and then once,
amazing.
And that goes back to all the senses, and like, even if you are lacking one, we're given these senses to perceive the earth. Like, that's our way we navigating through earth, is with the senses the earthly senses we were given. And it's about using them singularly, in tandem. Sometimes when you're praying, you'll close your eyes, like, because the sight is distracting you. But you want to hear maybe the om, if you're a Buddhist monk.
Yeah. And have you ever heard a noise in your head that is a memory?
No.
So like
you remember hearing something, or
my mother is dead.
Yes.
But I can, if I think, I can hear how she had an Irish accent, so how I can hear how she used to say my name.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's the memory of a sound.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
I also just realized, for our podcast listeners, I said, look, this is how sign language applauds, and they can't see that. So can you explain what I'm doing?
You put both hands up, and you show me the back of your hands, and now show me the front of your hands, back of your hands, front of your hands, back of your hands.
Thank you. That was good.
But guys, that is noise. What do you think? How do you feel about noise? Should we just get rid of it? Is the world is the world a little bit too noisy? Let us know down in the comments. Check out our Instagram, vote on the polls. We have them going every day. We're trying to see what book of the Bible reigns supreme.
Yes.
Bible verse by Bible verse. We'll be back tomorrow for Walk Through Thursday. Until then, go out and live a good life. Eat a soft pretzel. Even though it was yesterday, they still have them today. Peace.